7 million single parents in the United States are responsible for 22 million children, a statistic that is now peaking. A custom that used to be regarded as shameful, embarrassing, or unacceptable has now become common, accepted, and plain normalcy in America. Tanya Prather reports that drugs or financial status can play a significant role in this development. Single mother of 3, Diane Harmount says what seems to be normal to most Americans today were things she usually only witnessed in her own neighborhoods when she was growing up. Therefore, what was unacceptable to most seemed normal to her. Back then, she believed people in affluent neighborhoods looked down on her part of Albuquerque.
I don't know what it was like outside of my neighborhood up in the Heights. I felt that people that lived up in the Heights were so much better than we were.
Why?
I don't know why, because when I got older and I realized that, they didn't even know me. I used to actually think people could look into our homes and know who we were and what we were about. And it was really silly to think that way, but I would listen to other kids and they would tell me that the kids in the Heights don't like the kids in the Valley.
22-year-old Elizabeth Prather, one of 3 children raised by a single mother in the Northeast Heights, says growing up in a one-parent household affected her self-esteem.
There was a difference between being friends with kids with 2 parents and kids like me with just my mom. They definitely had more rules than I did. A bigger house. Sadly to say it, probably more love.
82% of single parents are mothers, and only 18% are single fathers. Harmount says her father left the family after becoming disabled and losing his job. Having learned nothing of relationships from just her mother, she ended up in bad relationships herself.
My mother never talked to me. She didn't communicate with me. She wasn't one to talk about sex or to talk about those kinds of things. So I got myself in, when I was 17 years old, I was in an abusive relationship. He would hit me and beat me, and I thought it was normal because I didn't know what normal was.
As for Prather, she knew all too well what wasn't normal.
When I was 16, he got busted for making meth. Let's just say I was doing Walter White's dishes, to say the least. I remember me and my sister gluing together angels after watching my dad break them in the middle of the night, because my mom collected those.
While a past taboo seems to have repeatedly turned into what many can relate to as the war on roses, given that type of childhood experience, more and more parents have decided that it's better to raise a child alone than in an unhealthy 2-parent household. This is Tanya Prather reporting.